chances are I'm going to have to put this thing back in here, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this position in the vise, because that, what I just did was a guess. I just measured that. That's about 20 thousandths over 5/8. And this is 1 inch and a light 16th, which is I wanted about 1 inch and a 32nd. And this punches all the way through right here. It goes out the other side. Okay, trying to make sure I didn't mill out too much for this big lug. I didn't mill out near enough, and that's okay. I'm going to take out more in the back. The back portion has got this little slant right here, and I don't know exactly what that's for, but I can't see that it has anything to do with holding the thing together, because the pressure you want is pulling back this way to hold the metal into the wood. So if there's a little too much taken out behind this, that's not a problem. It's the front that you want to touch really hard up here, and that I don't really have a decent way of measuring from where the front of the wood starts to here. I can guess at it, and I'll do that, but I'm going to take some more out of this hole for this lug. Number one. Number two, this safety rod right here, you pull your caulking lever back, the safety is pushed back by this plunger. There's a plunger that sticks out right here, and that pushes that safety back, and that safety rod comes right through here. Remember I marked where that plunger went, big rectangle? Well, I didn't cut that out because this milling process is going to take most of it out of there, because that's a clear through shot, and when that plunger comes back, it pushes that safety rod back. That pushes this safety, the connection to the safety button on top, back, and puts it on safety. It's also, and this is the guts of it right here. This little pin keeps these triggers from being depressed. See, that trigger can be depressed. When that safety is back where it's supposed to be, you can't depress the trigger because that pin blocks it. So where this, see, I've got to mill out all the way down to where this safety rod, it goes down that way, and so I've got to take out from the metal to that safety rod is about 0.770, so 3/4 of an inch, plus I've got about a 32nd more than I need here, so because that plunger goes back in there. Actually, it doesn't have to go all the way across it. If it just went where the rod is, would work for the safety rod. Now the plunger's still got to be relieved back, but that would allow a little bit more meat to stay in this thing if I just did, and the rod's in the dead center. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll take a 1/4 inch out of the middle of it down to 13/16, right out of the middle, and then I'll hand chisel that where that plunger goes back, because it's just a little thing. It's about 3/16 deep. So I'm going to enlarge this and cut that channel, and I'll be right back. All right, I have a width problem on that big lug. The width of this, it's rubbing. That thing is right at a 1/2 inch, just under, and I've just barely got a half, so it's just barely rubbing on the side a little bit, and I don't really know at this point which side it needs to be taken out of. I'm just going to kind of clean up that hole a little bit and see which way it wants to make this thing slant. I've still got my little hash marks I cut right there for the actual edge of this metal, so that'll tell me everything I need to know about side-to-side positioning. It's rocking right there, which means it's gripping the back of that lug. That lug, it's just me, or is that thing angled? That thing is angled. It is a good It's got that much play in it. So that they milled that on a slant, and I don't know why. I don't think it makes much difference, but it's got to be bedded inside there anyway. So it's thicker at the back here than it is at the front. That's okay. I don't let little things like that bother me. But I still don't really know which way it needs to go. It needs to go a certain one way or another. All right, I'm looking straight at this, and this screw hole is straddling that center line. And my hash marks up here, if anything, it's leaning towards my right on this hash mark. There's a little bit more room on the left. So I'm going to take out some on the left and let it slide that way. See how this lug has a little clipped bottom? It's tapered back a little bit. See, this comes straight down and then it clips back. Well, this is the cavity I'm dealing with, and I've marked this at about the right dimension front to back, and I've got to go straight down and then angle it back, and then once I get the thing fitted pretty good, I'll still bed that. Okay, that's dropping in there with room to spare. I am really close to where this tape, I'm pulling forward on this metal, and it's still not quite forward to the wood. So I've got about 20 thousandths to go forward, which means the front of this lug is doing its job. It's pulling that thing forward. As soon as I clean that up a little bit more, see, it's just stopping just shy of bringing it all the way out to the wood. What that does when I tighten that up, it sucks that metal to that wood. It draws it in, and that's what you want, is super tight. You want it to look like it grew there. I'm hesitant to even take much more out of that. I might just let pressure kind of wear its way back in there. You got to tread carefully when you get to those pressure points, he said as he cut some more out. What I'm taking out is about the thickness of saran wrap. So there'll be a hole drilled down in the middle of that thing too, because that's where a bolt comes in from the top. I haven't smoked this. There's not been a need to yet. Oh, that's getting really, really close. Matter of fact, it's close enough. What I'm going to do is center this up between my hash marks and go ahead and get a good pencil mark there outlining this bottom plate. If I can get that hole in the center. Well, that's a fat pencil. That and that will tell me a lot. And now I'll mill that out. That thing's, gracious, it's more than 1/8 of an inch deep. This thing is curved. It's got a little curve right in there, so it's not a flat mill, but I can take part of it out with a mill and then come back and clean it up by hand. But everything else has got good clearance. My triggers, my safety, all that stuff's got plenty of clearance. If the safety's in the forward position, and it'll go down into that hole and stay forward, and then I can reach in there and push that rod back. Where is that rod? I can't reach it right yet, but I'll make sure that that works. I think I'm going to go ahead and mill out this straight line here, get myself a little closer to it. That's still ever so slightly away, too far back. And it's hitting nothing but that lug. Everything else is free and clear. I got all kinds of room in there except for that lug, and that's what I want to be tight. And so I think I'm going to smoke just this lug only and this rod, because I don't think that rod's hitting, but I don't even see where it left a mark. You know what? It's touching right there on that safety on the front of that hole I milled all the way through. That's worth touching. I gotta go back and bring that thing forward probably about 3/16 of an inch. I can do that.